Another dear friend of mine, very dedicated and committed kind of person. He's a person who will give in 110% in things he do. With 13 years of cooking experience in various segments, he is now an owner for Tiffany's Cafe. He is Chef Benny. Hi guys, welcome to Haco's Kitchen. This is Elise. Today we have a very special guest to join us, a very dear friend of mine. Let's welcome Chef Benny from Tiffany's Cafe. Welcome, Chef.
Hi.
Yes, Chef. So what you plan to cook for us today?
Okay, today we're gonna have something very special. It's called the Coke Malt beef stew.
Right.
It's a twist of the European traditional beef stew, but with a little bit of a modern twist.
Wow, sounds interesting. Shall we start?
Okay. So first, let me introduce you the ingredients. What we'll
Right.
be using today: tomato paste.
Okay.
Okay, and then you'll be using some cubed potatoes.
Okay.
You will have also the vegetables for the stew, which is something very essential because all these things, if you don't have it in the stew, you won't get to impart that much flavor.
Okay.
So within this is what we call as regular aromatics: celery, garlic, onion, and carrots. Okay. At the same time, you will also, of course, have your seasonings, being the black pepper, some mixed herbs, some flour for thickening. And then you of course have your beef, your oil for cooking, and the very special ingredient today will be your Haco's beef flavored. And with that, what we will do now, of course, first we will start the fire. We turn it on, high heat, okay? And then we will put in the oil first. This is an important step because if the oil is not hot enough, your beef will not create a layer and the char, which is where a lot of the flavors will also come from. So with that said, we will now of course wait for oil to heat up, and then we will put it in.
So we still at high heat?
Yes,
Alright.
very important because the high heat will create the layer and the char. Initial phase, you will see a bit of sticking at the bottom, but that is normal because the meat is cooking. But once the meat has cooked and it has that char, it will automatically come off. So as you see now, it's bubbling.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit more char already. It's almost about time for us to then put in the vegetables.
Alright, so
Okay.
we start with?
The vegetables.
Alright.
Okay, so we put this all in. Okay, this aside, thank you.
Alright.
Okay, this is also the time where you can add in your mixed herbs. Yeah, your mixed herbs, you add it in so you get a bit more fragrant. You add in your black pepper as well.
Wow.
It's a bit more stronger on the black pepper, also because, like as we said, this is a heavy stew. So at this point, we're adding the tomato paste.
Right.
Okay. If you notice, I have not added in the potatoes yet. That is because the potatoes cook quite fast. We do not want it to be as disintegrated as the other vegetables. So we will put it in a bit later. But we're still going to add, at this point, we're going to put in the potatoes.
Finally.
Yes.
For the in.
Okay, now after we add the flour, this is where you have to be a bit more careful. Because once you add the flour, it will tend to stick at the bottom, so we have to work very fast. Okay? Okay, so this is when we put in our malt. Okay, and then we'll also put in the cola. So this is now what we do is our very, very important component, our beef stock flavor. We add it into our water. The beef flavor stock gives us almost very, very similar flavor components as to us using the regular stock. Okay, if you notice, I'm not heating up the beef stock at all. I'm just putting it into water and then just mixing it and then pour it into the pot. Okay, so once you're stirring, you feel that the bottom, do you feel anything sticking at the bottom?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Slightly.
Okay, so what happens is, now that we've poured the stock in, we stir at the bottom, and then what happens is we're actually deglazing the pan.
Yep.
So when you're deglazing, you get all that nice flavor up. And then this is when now, once this boils up, we will then reduce the flame to a slow simmer, and then we'll cover the pot, and then we'll leave it for an hour and a half, plus minus, depending on how big your meat is. And then when it renders, then we can actually serve that. So once it boils, we will then cover. So we'll just wait for it to boil, because if we cover before it boils, there's a possibility that it might burn. So at this point, we still need to make sure that the bottom it's not sticking. But the moment it boils up, then we can then reduce the fire to a slow simmer, and then we can then close the lid, let it slowly cook.
Right. Wow. Alright, after 45 minutes, chef.
Okay, so if you see, it has boiled down and it has thickened already.
Oh,
Okay.
it's very, very thick.
Yeah. So this is the base of the stew itself. So later we will plate it and you will taste. If you look at the beef, it's actually quite tender. So you can actually push it through with the spoon for a nice plating. First you get all the ingredients without the sauce. Put it in the center. Yeah, without the gravy, put it in the center.
Wow.
Nice and center. Okay, it is. Right?
Alright.
How is it?
Ooh. I can taste the natural sweetness. Plus, it has a very strong body, and the black pepper gives it a good cake. Texture of the beef is nice and succulent. So, for those who are interested with Haco beef flavor stock, you can get it from e-commerce platforms or nearby supermarkets. Please do not forget to follow us on our social media for more information and recipes.
With that, with Haco, you make ordinary meals special with Haco SUiSS, and it will help you with all your cooking and reduce cooking time.
That's right. So that's all for today. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.